Peggy from the Paper Bumblebee. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a great day. Today it is a really, well, won't say sad day, but the weather is really sad. But I love it. And as you can see, I've got a newspaper in front of me. I am participating this time in Young Journal July. That is given by Meg from megjournals, and I participated last year and I was asked to do this year again, and I of course said yes, I would love to. All the details will be down in the description box below, all the links and everything you need to know. And this year my prompt is vintage. So what I wanted to do is just take ordinary stuff, and hopefully everybody's got this at home, and try and make something vintage. I was paging through the newspaper and I saw these beautiful images of our little town, but they are all, well, new and in color. So I cut them out, and what I wanted to do is make a copy of them with your copy machine. So I hope you've got a printer, and you can put the pictures in there and make a copy of them, but make a copy in black and white. So I want to take you to my printer and let's copy. Okay, first of all, I've got my images cut out and I want to put them on my printer. I think I want to do two just to show you guys. So this one and this one, of course, the side you want down. Close it up. Now what I'm going to try is just a cardstock. My printer is a Canon and it is a mega tank. It's the G352. I don't know if you can get this where you are at, but I've got some paper that's 200 GSM. And I'm going to, let me just zoom out a bit. I am going to make a copy and it's got two settings, black and color. So I'm going to do black, so black and white. And it's going to make a copy for me of those pictures in black and white. So let's see. And what I wanted to do is, after this, I'm going to use the same pictures in my printer and print on photo paper. It is a glossy photo paper, and let's see how that goes. Okay, here it goes, the black and white. Sorry for the books, guys, that's my son's books from school. So I've got the black and white on the cardstock. So now I'm going to put in my photo paper and do that again, black and white. And we can watch which one we want to use. Or maybe, I think I will be using both and see what the results will be. So off camera I did 3 other pictures as well, so we've got 5 pictures to play with. So let's see the results. Here it comes. Not cheating, just wanted to show you guys. There's the photo paper, so let's go over and see the results. So I just wanted to show you guys the pictures that I took. These are the colorful pictures, the color pictures that I took. I took these 3 on one page and these 2 on another. So I printed them on, let's do these 2 first. So I printed them on photo paper, black and white. I'll just show you guys. And they are just gorgeous. This is the photo paper, this one's upside down. And this one is on cardstock, 200 GSM. Also pretty nice. And then I took these 3 guys, and first of all I printed on just ordinary copy paper, and they are absolutely amazing as well. So we can take this page as well. I'm not sure if it's gonna hold up, but let's see. This is the photo paper, the glossy photo paper. I think it is beautiful. And then we've got here just the ordinary 200 GSM copy paper. So let's go and have a play. Okay guys, so what I've done so far is tear everything out. Some I've cut, and I've put the photo paper and the copy paper together. This one is torn, but I want to do something else with that. So we're going to play and do multiple things. First thing I want to do is pick one. I think this one, and it's the photo paper and the copy paper, and we are going to play with some coffee. So I think everybody's got coffee in their house. This is instant coffee that I mixed up with a little bit of water, and this is instant coffee just dry, so the granules. Then I also have a used tea bag, a wet one, and I'm just keeping that in this little plate, and I've got a little brush. So first of all, we are going to try and make this looking more vintage. So let's take, I need 3. Which one would we take? Another one I want to use. Let's take the big one, and this is one on paper. So we use that one as well. So we are going to do one with coffee, the instant coffee that is already mixed with some water, and we're just going to paint over this entire picture with this water, this coffee water. Well, this coffee. So doing that, and then we are going to put that aside to let that dry, and you can put some drops on there that will become some darker places. Putting that aside for just a sec. On this one I want to try some tea. So I've got this used tea bag, and I am going to just spritz it a bit so that it's more wet. So this I haven't tried yet, so let's see if this will work. And just dab it on here so that you will get some vintage, more vintage look. So on there. And the coffee and the tea, you can make it as dark as you want. I did use darker coffee and I didn't like it. That was way too dark. I'll show you guys quickly. I did this before and I used some darker coffee on, well, also a copy, but of a photograph of a person. This is the darker one, and then this is this mixture, so it's a bit lighter. So I liked this one. This one's also nice, and you can see the marks on there. That's just a bottle I dipped into the coffee and dabbed on there. So you can take, for example, this and just go around the edges, and you can make marks on there as well. So let's do that on this one. This one is still drying, so I don't know if it's gonna work. So I've got one on here. So now the other thing I want to do, just letting this dry quickly, is take this, and this is the paper, not the photo paper. For the photo paper, as you can see, you have to be really careful, otherwise you're gonna rub it off. It does move a bit, but that's just part of its charm, I think. So now what I'm going to do is take the dry coffee, the granules, and I am going to just put some on here on places there where I want it to be a bit darker. Doesn't have to be the whole picture. So like so, I think that's okay. And then what I'm going to do is take my water bottle and just spritz on here some water, and the granules will absorb the water and, as you can see, react, and then you will get a completely different kind of aging. Okay, while this is drying, I think we are going to use and try some inks as well. So I'm just going to put this aside. So these are going to dry. So that's coffee, and this one's tea, like so. Okay, what I'm going to do now is take some pictures and use some inks, as I said. Let me just see. Yeah, got 3. I'm not sure. I'm going to do maybe 1 or 2. And you just want to tear and have a rough edge. For that's the charm of the vintage. You want it to look vintage and old and torn, and well, that's just me. You can cut it, of course, with a scissor, and you get that nice straight edge, whatever you want. Let's do this one, straight edges. Then you can take some ink pads, or you can take some sprays, oxide sprays. You can even use some dabbers. So I've got the dabber. I've got some vintage photo distress spray stain I've got. And this is vintage photo, and I've also got the ground espresso. And of course just the normal ink pad as well. Let me just grab that quickly. I think I will be going for walnut stain. Okay, so let's just play around with these and see what happens. Let's take this one. This is photo paper. This is okay. I want one that's just normal paper. This one. So you distress your picture this the way you want. I'm just doing it roughly now, for I'm going to do that later on. Distress with, you can use your scissors, or you can use a distress tool, something like this, or just your nails. So for example, you start by just going around it. I'm just going to use the ink pad. You can use your ink dabber as well if you want to. I'm just going to do this quickly, easy, nice and dark, and just go a bit on the top as well. And if you want to get a nice effect on the edges, you use your spray bottle and just spray on the edges as well, and you will see it will oxide. You will get the oxide to react. So then I've got this dabber. It's always nice to have one, and I'm so glad I still got I've only got this one, and then I've got this one. This is purple. I'm not going to use that. So, and you can dab just everywhere or some places you want to, and you will get those effects that you can get with just a normal round thing as well. Then I'm going to use the distress spray stain. I'm just spraying on the picture as well. Just gently give it some inks on there. And then if it's not what you want, you can spray some water on there and it will react. And the same with the ground espresso. Remember, this is a lot darker, and I don't want it to be too dark, for it's already a dark picture, so I'm not going to use that one. Just going to use some more water, I think, and see what happens. So that's that one. And then that's on paper, so let's do the same and then on the photo paper and see how that one reacts. So what I did was go around it with the ink pad. So I'm just doing the same thing on this picture, and you can see that this shows up more and, well, more prominent on here, and I love it. So let's spread some water on here as well, like we did with the other one. See how that reacts. Okay, then we are going to use the little dabber and just dab some places with this, and then the vintage photo as well, and just spritz a bit of ink on there, some water, and this doesn't dry immediately like on the paper, so you can still spray on this and let it go its own way. So then it will move and it will react as well. So now I haven't got anything down here, so just spritz on a little bit on the bottom as well, and some water. I know it's dark and I don't know if you will see it if it's dry, but let's let it run like so. So we've got the two with the inks. Now I wanted to do something else, you guys. Let me just put this aside to dry. I want to use some, where did I put it? This is extra heavy gel medium, and I don't know if this is gonna work, but let me just use the paper on the different side, like so. This is my coffee. I want to use, I wanted to use the big picture. Did I? Let me see which picture I want to use. What? Yeah, this one. I want to use that picture, and I hope this will work. And I'm going to use some canvas, and I want to print, or to put this print onto my canvas. So let's see if that will work. So what you have to do is take a brush, and I'm just going to dry it a bit. Take your matte gel medium and just cover the canvas and the picture. So let's start with the canvas. Doesn't need a lot of gel medium on the canvas. Then I'm going to put it on this canvas face to face, and you want to give it a nice rub. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside to dry. Okay guys, so the next thing I wanted to do is make some sellotape, vintage sellotape, so that we can tape this together. So you take scotch tape or sellotape or whatever you are calling that. I've got this really wide one. I'm just going to use that and show you how I make this. There are, I think, a lot of other videos that you can also look up. So I've got some alcohol inks, and I've got some alcohol, and I'm using a pipette, and then just some blow thingy. Maybe you can use a straw as well. So now you just drop some of your, this is coffee, of your alcohol inks on the sellotape, and this is caramel, and then I'm just going to put on some yellow, for I don't have any colors that are lighter, otherwise everything is going to be really dark. Then I'm going to take some alcohol just with my pipette and just put some on the cello tape. Just closing that quickly, and then I'm going to use my blow thingy and just try and get this to mix and cover the cello tape on here. And maybe when you use a straw it will be more controllable, I don't know. I just found this and thought this is a cool idea. And I think you can get these from Tim Holtz as well. I don't know if these are, I don't think these are Tim Holtz. These are just some cheaper ones I found on Amazon. And I thought these will work and do the same thing as those more expensive ones. So now you just have a look and say, okay, I think that's too dark. So I'm going to take some yellow and just drop some yellow on there so that it gets a little bit lighter on there. And if it's too dry and you want it to move, you just put some more alcohol on there. So I think that's okay. I don't know if you can see when I did this one, I used some alcohol ink and it had some glitter on there. And I thought, nah, that's not what I want. So now we're gonna let that dry. Okay, so I dabbed the remaining that was really wet off there. And if you didn't know, this is baking paper. I did put the tape on the baking paper. So let's cut a piece off for our picture to repair that. And it's really sticky still on the back side. I'm just going to cut off a piece and stick that on there. Like so. And then just put this back. Can put that, I don't know about you, but I'll always just put the tape on the back as well. So then we got that vintage tape. So that is a thing you can use on your pictures as well to make it more vintage. So now this isn't really vintage at all. So I'm just going to use this ink pad again to vintage this one up as well. If you want a darker circle on there as well, you can use your glue stick or whatever you've got with the round edge. You can use that and you can make some marks on there. And if you don't want it to be like so, I think this is quite nice. You can roughen up the edges as well just by using your nail or your scissors and just make it really old and nice and vintage. And everything you do and it's white again, just ink it up. So let me show what I have done. This is now my vintage photo that was first of all in the newspaper. A colorful print from my newspaper, new, yesterday's news. I copied this in black and white. I inked it up, tore it by accident and fixed it. And there's my vintage picture. And you can roughen it up some more and make it more vintage, and just love this. Love. So that's one way of doing it. Then we had the coffee. So now we've got the coffee, the background. We did coffee. We did the circles on there. Really cute. Again, I'm going to take my ink pad. You can also use the coffee again. Maybe I should do that. And just do the edges as well, so that you don't have those white edges. If you want to, you can put some tape on there. We can even stamp on there. Let's try it. Okay, so I'm just taking a stamp with some scribbles and stuff, and let's take some black ink. You can of course take some brown as well, but let's take some black. And I'm just going to have a look. Yeah, upside down, and just do some second generation stamping. And you can see it on there. Love that. See, I've got another stamp here. Can put it on there. And it's really light, and it is just giving it so much personality. So I'm gonna let that dry quickly again, and just going to take this picture so that you can compare. This is the photo paper, then we got the paper, and this was the tea bag. So again, let's take our scissor and just roughen the edges. Okay, maybe some more stamping on this one. Let's do some brown and see if that, yeah, really nice. Love that. The other one, put that on there. Just love that. Okay, inking up the edges. So just using a dabber. And again, this is oxide ink, so if you want to, you can of course spray on there as well, and it will give you a reaction, maybe really nice. Again, was another picture, this picture, and you've got your picture that you made really nice and vintage, and you want some markings on there. I'm just going to take some ink this time and press on there, and you can get really nice markings. So again, sorry guys, really nice and vintage picture. Then we've got this one. We did the spraying of the ink and the inks around it. So let's roughen the edges some more on this one. We have, I see some really not a lot of white still. And let's put some more tape on this. Let me see now. And cut that, and you can tear it easy peasy, and that gives it an even more vintage real look. I'm going to tape this on here like so, and loving that effect, you guys, really cool. And just go over it with your ink dabber and roughen up, just ink it up a bit, and I think it looks amazing. Look at the difference. So there you go. Then we've got another one. That was the paper. This was the photo paper. Gorgeous, really love that. So again, just take your dabber and go over the stark white of the picture where you don't want it to be that white, and just give it some vintage look. And we can stamp on there as well. Let's take this distress ink this time, see how that does. Oh yeah, love that. Maybe some of this markings from the postage, who knows. Oh yeah, I love that. And I think I still want some more ink in the middle here, just for that white. So again, you guys, look how beautiful. And this was, where is the picture of this one? Also this one. No, this one. Look at the difference. I think they are amazing. I love it. You can put some tape on there, whatever you want. So I'm still having one that I want to show you. This was the one that I did the edges with the coffee, but I want to roughen up the edges first. They're not dry yet, but look how beautiful these turned out. Okay guys, and then I still have this one. I think it really looks nice, but you can see there is a lot of white still, so let's for now just go inside and ink up the really dark or the light pieces, so that we can make that a bit more vintagey. And then we are going to roughen up the edges as well. Let me use my paper distresser. It's not really a paper distresser. This is actually for a cheap one I got from Amazon as well, for cutting off thread. A thread cutter, I think they were called. I don't know if you can see, it is a round piece with little holes, and inside the little holes there's a little blade, and they use this for thread cutting, I think with quilting or stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to go with this ink pad around this. You can of course use any color you want. Okay, I'm gonna go crazy with this one. Not that crazy, but I'm gonna use my dabber. It's a tea dye on here as well. So let's do some dabbing on here, just for some marks. And of course I'm going to use no, not the distress oxide, but the distress ink for some other markings on here as well. Just you guys, there we go, for some coffee marks. And maybe we can even do some stamping again. I'm just going to use some brown and go on the side here. Yeah, it's really soft, and you have to look for it to be really visible. So I love that. So loving this so far. And then we can put on some more of that tape if you want to. Still got a piece left here, and cut it like just weird, so that it looks like it is old and used. So I've got like a little piece on here, and then let's see, I want that to be smaller, like so. And you can do it on the edges, just as if it was torn out of an album and it was stuck in there with some tape on the corners. So let's do that here as well. I'm really filthy actually. And this corner. There we go. And still got a little small piece left. I'm going to just put on here like so. Cut this off. There we go, and that was this one. So we've got still one left. So that was the one I did with the matte gel medium. Okay, so I think it is quite dry, and now you actually have to dip it in water. I think I'm going to try and spritz water on here and see if that will also work. Let it just soften up a bit, the paper, and then try and rub it off carefully. Okay guys, I dried this really well and then rubbed off the most of the excess of paper, and this is how it came out. So a lot of white spots, and I'm okay with that, loving that. So I'm going to tear this, for this is canvas and you can tear this so that it has a rough edge, and that even gives it a more vintagey look. Then I've got Distress Collage Medium Vintage, and I'm going to go over this picture with this collage medium. I'm just going to take a brush and go over this picture with this medium. Hi guys, I quickly dried this with my heat gun, and you can of course do a lot more to this. So I'm going to take my dabber, my tea stain, and I'm just going to, on those spots, dab with this tea stain. And of course of the layer, it's going to take a longer time to dry. Then you can go around it. I will do that just now with some inks. I'm going to use Distress ink, the walnut stain, to go over this, the edges. And well, I'm going to dry this quickly. Okay, so it's really light, and if you want to do this, do it before you put the layer on top. That's what I've learned of that. So you can go around it with your ink. Okay, so we've done this on the canvas, and this is the same one, and we used the grains on there, and this was the picture how it did look before. So I think you can use newspaper to vintage stuff up anytime. Just make some black and white copies. Then we've got these that we inked up and played with coffee and tea, and of course our vintage tape that we made. And these are our vintage, just gonna lift this up for the glare is bad, you guys. Look how amazing these look, you guys. I think they look gorgeous. Now you can go with these and play in your junk journals, put some splatters on there, make a little frame around them, collage with them, make these journaling cards, whatever you want. And these were the originals that I used. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Go give it a try. I also used some pictures, or they're not real pictures, they are also printed on, this was photocopy paper with just the coffee granules, and I made these. This is also photo paper with coffee. This is also photo paper with coffee. This is paper with some coffee as well, and these. So you can go and play, you guys, and it doesn't matter what printer you've got. Just use some black and white pictures. So I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye. Have a nice day.